Tourism in Las Vegas is in a big slump this summer, costing the city billions of dollars. Some are saying that could signal trouble ahead for the U.S. economy.
Happy Sunday to you. If you live in an American tourist hotspot, you might not have noticed it yet, but tourism to the U.S. is on the decline.
Layoffs and furloughs coming for some Wynn Resorts workers in Las Vegas.
Which, they moved the resort fee. Every time we would come, the resort fees went higher, to the point where they were $50.
We will probably never come back again. This is probably our last visit.
Vegas is slowing down, and Wynn is bleeding. What was once the crown jewel of luxury on the Strip is now wobbling under the weight of more than $10 billion in debt. Yes, you heard that right, over $10 billion. Wynn Resorts, long known for its elegance, exclusivity, and billion-dollar ambiance, is facing a financial crossroad. Its net profits have plunged by more than 40%. Expansion plans have stalled, and foot traffic on the Las Vegas Strip, especially from high-spending international visitors, is still far below pre-pandemic levels. But this isn't just about one company's earnings. It's a story about how a luxury economy built on confidence and consumer excess can begin to unravel. Rising interest rates, cautious travelers, and shifting global priorities are changing how people spend, gamble, and invest their time in Las Vegas. Today, Wynn isn't just managing a downturn. It's walking a razor-thin line between relevance and retreat. And the real question isn't whether Las Vegas survives. It's whether Wynn can survive this Las Vegas. Part 1, Las Vegas Strip Decline. A new phase of uncertainty.
International travel is way down. People are not coming to the United States.
Of America empty. Look at these airports.
And the signs of slowdown? They're not subtle. According to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, the city welcomed fewer guests this past summer than the year before. Specifically, visitation dropped by more than 11%. A sharp reversal for a destination that relies on constant foot traffic to fuel its economy. That number alone would be concerning. But it's just the beginning. International tourism, which typically brings in the highest spending guests, remains more than 20% below pre-pandemic levels. That means fewer luxury shoppers, fewer fine dining reservations, and fewer high-limit players at the tables. Non-gaming revenue, once seen as the future of Vegas, is quietly shrinking. High-end restaurants, designer boutiques, and live shows are all feeling the impact of more cautious spending habits. Meanwhile, the convention and events industry, a critical driver for weekday hotel occupancy, is still in recovery mode. Corporate travel budgets have tightened, and the shift to hybrid work has reduced the need for large-scale gatherings. Even MGM Resorts, known for its broad portfolio and deep pockets, reported a significant dip in margins in the second quarter.
Las Vegas has had a tough summer. I think, visitation was down 11 and 12% June and July. Some of that carried through into August.
Today, seen numbers, $1.5 billion plus. I know last year was a little shy of that. I'd expect it to be another record.
That's a warning sign, not just for competitors, but for the entire Strip. Las Vegas isn't empty, but it is evolving. And not every business is built to weather this kind of change. Part 2, the numbers behind Wynn's financial trouble. So what does all of this mean for Wynn? Let's look at the numbers. As of the third quarter of this year, Wynn Resorts is carrying more than $10.5 billion in long-term debt. That's not a typo. It's a mountain of obligation that requires constant cash flow to manage, and that's becoming harder to sustain. In the second quarter, Wynn reported net income of just $66 million. That's down sharply from $111 million during the same period last year. Adjusted property EBITDA, which gives a clearer picture of day-to-day operating performance, also slipped, from nearly $572 million to around $552 million. These numbers might seem close on paper, but in the resort and casino industry, even small shifts in margin can signal deep operational strain. What's more, Wynn recently paid a $5.5 million fine related to regulatory violations involving international money transfers. That fine may not break the bank, but it raises flags. Not just about compliance, but about how Wynn is managing its high-end clientele and global financial flows. Every dollar spent on penalties, legal fees, and oversight is a dollar not reinvested into the guest experience. And in a city where customer perception is everything, that matters. Part 3, what happens when the luxury economy starts to crack? Here's the twist no one's talking about. Wynn isn't losing because it failed to attract budget travelers. It's losing because it built its entire empire on the ultra-wealthy. And now that elite customer is pulling back. Across the U.S., high-income consumers are starting to show signs of restraint. Luxury retail is cooling. Brands like LVMH, Cartier, and even Rolls-Royce have all reported slower sales growth in the American market this year. It's not a crash, but it's a crack. And for a brand like Wynn, cracks in the luxury economy can feel like earthquakes. Their average daily room rate in Las Vegas is still sky high, around $548. But what's behind that number? Fewer bookings, shorter stays, guests who might still come for the experience, but skip the shopping spree or the $1,000 bottle of wine. When the image of luxury starts to outpace what customers are willing to pay for, the entire business model begins to wobble. Wynn isn't a budget resort that can pivot to value. It's a high-stakes bet on indulgence. And that bet is being tested. So what happens when the luxury economy starts to crack? Companies like Wynn feel it first and hardest. Part 4, can Wynn outlast the downturn? So, can Wynn survive this downturn? The answer isn't simple. On paper, Wynn still has assets, cash flow, and a powerful brand. But beneath the surface, pressure is building. The company had plans to renovate its Encore Tower, an ambitious upgrade priced at around $330 million. That project has been delayed. Not canceled, but pushed back. A clear sign that Wynn is prioritizing cash preservation over expansion. Then there's the much-anticipated Wynn Al Marjan Island project in the UAE. It's Wynn's first venture into the Middle East and could become a major revenue stream. But here's the catch. It won't open until at least 2026. Until then, Wynn remains deeply tied to the performance of its Las Vegas and Macau properties. And in both locations, high-end tourism is under strain. To make matters more urgent, the Fed's interest rate policy is squeezing all businesses carrying heavy debt. The longer rates stay elevated, the more expensive it becomes to service those multi-billion-dollar obligations. Some analysts have speculated that Wynn may need to explore asset sales or debt restructuring if conditions don't improve. That wouldn't mean collapse, but it would mark a major shift in strategy for a company that has always played offense, not defense. And compared to MGM, which has diversified into digital betting and mid-tier markets, Wynn's narrow focus on elite luxury looks increasingly vulnerable. In a game where adaptability is everything, Wynn has very little room to maneuver. Wynn's troubles aren't just about one company missing its quarterly targets. They're a mirror, reflecting broader changes in how Las Vegas works and who it's really for. The city has long thrived on spectacle, scale, and spending without limits. But in this new economic climate, where even the wealthy are thinking twice, that model is being challenged. The Wynn Resorts crisis signals that luxury alone may no longer be enough. Las Vegas is not disappearing, but it may need to redefine itself. The big question is, will the Strip shift toward broader accessibility or double down on high rollers and high margins? What Wynn is facing now could foreshadow the next chapter of Vegas, one where prestige must be paired with flexibility, and brand power isn't immune to economic pressure. Wynn isn't gone, but it's no longer untouchable. What do you think? Is Wynn Resorts heading for reinvention, or is this the beginning of a long, slow decline? And what about Las Vegas itself? Will it adapt to new traveler behaviors or hold on to a fading luxury playbook? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe for more deep dive reports on the trends shaping America's biggest industries. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.